Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for L2 Productions, and you are watching I Watch It Watch. Today, we are covering a new series that I was really excited to see. It's called All's Fair, currently streaming on Hulu and Disney Plus. This was created by Mr. Ryan Murphy. But I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. We're going to cover briefly all episodes 1 through 4 that are out streaming now. Please like this video in support of me, and you can subscribe if you are new, and go on and leave your comments below. All right, so let's get into these episodes. All right, so as you can see me right now, I'm in Florida, and the temperature dipped, and it dipped very early for this part of the year. We don't see these type of temperatures until probably January, February, and it's only for like a day or so, but it dropped down to 44. So, yeah. Anyways, so All's Fair, created by Mr. Ryan Murphy. You know, he's brought so much stuff to the screen. Tuck, American Horror Story, Scream Queens, Glee, and so much more. Even Hollywood, that was on Netflix. That was a great movie, or miniseries that they had for, it was like a TV series, basically, with episodes. But anyways, All's Fair is an American legal drama, a series created by Ryan Murphy. It's starring Kim Kardashian, Naomi Watts, Niecy Nash Betts, Tiana Taylor, Matthew Nozick, Sarah Paulson, and Glenn Close. All I can say is that, look, I was excited from the get-go because of the all-star cast. Of course, I questioned the lead as to why they're the lead. And we know who it is, Kim Kardashian. However, possibly story is going to override all that other stuff. And I think the other cast is going to kind of like build up. It's going to help support what's going on this show. Kim Kardashian is playing Allura Grant, a former divorce lawyer at Grant, Ronson and Green. Naomi Watts as Liberty Ronson, another successful lawyer at Grant, Ronson Green. Niecy Nash Betts as Emerald Green, the researcher at Grant, Ronson Green. Tiana Taylor as Milan, a paralegal and future lawyer at Grant, Ronson Green. Matthew Nozick as Chase Monroe, Allura's husband. Wait till I get to him. Sarah Paulson, she's Carrington Lane, a rival divorce lawyer who despises Allura, Liberty, Emerald, and Dina. Glenn Close as Dina Standish, a seasoned divorce lawyer and partner for Allura, Liberty, Carrington, and Emerald's original firm before they left. Yeah, so how it started off is that Allura and also Liberty and Emerald and Dina and all of them, they were at this lawyer's firm, but it was basically ran by guys. Dina, who's played by Glenn Close, was the only female lawyer there that had to put up with a bunch of why can't I talk today? Chauvinism, and all that good stuff. Patriarchy, thank you. It was all that mess. Chauvinism, all that stuff that you had to put up with as women. Until, of course, after the Me Too movement, things just started moving and shaking. After so long, Dina was able to bring in a new female lawyer who is Carrington. But anyways, Allura and Liberty, they decide, we're done with this. Let's go on and make our own firm, all female, and we'll represent all females also. They end up taking with them Emerald, who's played, Niecy Nash is playing her. Carrington is pissed because she thinks that she deserves that spot. Since they didn't, she has developed this rage and resentment and animosity towards Allura and also Liberty, but mostly she goes after Allura. Anyways, so about 10 years down the line, because we get a flashback of all that taking place, very successful, all that good stuff, blah, 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 blah. Emerald has become a partner because she's not a lawyer, but she does she is the investigator. She gets She finds all the nooks and crannies. She's going to find all the hidden stuff that goes on because they deal with a lot of high profile figures that are divorcing. A lot of times in this whole male dominated patriarchy, thank God I can say it now, they'll just hide stuff. You know, you get a lot of trophy wives, or you may have started out one way and then all of a sudden this dude becomes whatever great grand and now wants to trip. All because now it's time for divorce, whomever has initiated the divorce. And Niecy just finds everything that needs to be found. So along the lines, we find out from Allura, she's married. This dude is an ex-football player and pretty successful on his own. We found out that he wants to leave her. And of course, she's like in her, like, I think 40s or whatever. And one of her dreams is always to have children. Anyways, he wants a divorce, but then he pulls out all the big guns and goes over to Carrington. I said, Lord Jesus. You would have thought it would have been some type of amicable divorce. He says that he's not happy, and he's always has felt like he's been in her shadow because she's been so more successful, or because, you know, men and their egos, they can't handle all of that if their partner does seem to have more limelight on them. Then we find out that he's a sex addict. But guess who is one of his partners? Milan. Milan, who's up in that law firm, who is being mentored by Allura, has been having sex with this dude for about, what was it, like 2 years or so? Yeah. So we find out that now Milan is pregnant. During the divorce proceedings, it was found out that Allura and her husband, they have embryos that have now become property of who's going to really own them or not. Well, what happened at the end of episode 3, Allura ended up signing off and impregnating herself with those embryos, so that, I guess, the dude can't really take the babies. But he wants everything. He wants half of the business and all that she's built up on her own. I'm like, well, you were a football player. But because he don't want her no more, now it's time to destroy her and to take her down. That is so crazy. Just take what you came with and get out. Dina is the more mature person. She has a husband, Doug, who has cancer. With that, he's not able to get it up, if you know what I mean. And she really loves him. And he's played by Ed O'Neill, who is Al Bundy from Married with Children. And then he also did the one show on ABC, Modern Family. Yeah. So it was cool to see him as a romantic lead for Glenn Close. So that was pretty cool. She's tempted to have an affair. She almost went through with it. Like, when she was kissing him, this dude that she met in New York, she ended up stopping and just said, you know, I still love my husband. And she ended up confessing to her husband about what she did. And he was okay with that. And she has her ups and downs. She feels a certain way. However, she is in love with this man. Now, for Naomi Watts' character, she has a guy. She's been kind of hesitant on getting married to this dude. The dude proposed. She didn't really have the answer. He was ready to walk out of her life. She ended up asking him, you know, after all, like, I do want you as my man and my partner. So now they're engaged. Carrington is the over-the-top reader that comes up with the craziest lines. You got to get into her. Please get into her. She is crazy. Emerald, she has 3 sons. She was artificially inseminated all at once, so she has triplets. She's raised them. They're ready to go off to college. They're going into Ivy League colleges and all that good stuff. And she's just been sufficed at being alone. She's More, she don't even care about being with the man. She'd rather just have her toy. So the ladies pushed her to go on a date. You know, your boys are going to be leaving. She's like, I'm fine. I don't need to replace them for nothing. The boys are kind of worried about her. Like, you need to go have a life, man, mom. So she does. This is in the latest episode. She spots a guy that she's kind of liking. He gets her a drink. They dance. And then next thing you know, she's out of it. She wakes up the next morning and don't know what happened to her. So this dude put a roofie in her drink. I said, Lord. Come to find out in this episode that there's a long game out of this dude. I think his name was Wiley. His father, whom Dina was able to prosecute with the doing some type of Ponzi scheme. The father ended up ending his life. So Dina thinks that Wiley's trying to get to her, but is going through at least Emerald first, just to get to her from payback for what happened with her father. Of course, with a lot of these type of date rape type of situations, you don't know, it becomes inconclusive. I will say this much, y'all. I really encourage, and I thank everyone that actually speaks up if they've been taken advantage of, if they've been assaulted. I say don't stop. I know it doesn't seem fair because of how the law is set up and how you have got to have 100% complete evidence. Because she went to the doctor and they did the whole RAPE kit on her, and they aren't really showing any type of false entry or anything to that nature. But however, it's going to take about 2 weeks or so for the test results to come back in. Anyways, it's kind of inconclusive. So, at the same point, I think that this show, All's Fair, reminds me of Tuck in regards to, you know, that they would have a different person come in that need to get alterations to their face, body, or whatever. Every week we get some new clients. We've already had Elizabeth Berkley, you know, from Saved by the Bell and Showgirls. We've had Jessica Simpson. She played in 2 episodes. Brick Springfield, from, of course, being the high-profile rock star, and also on General Hospital. And we've also have had Miss Judith Light. So those are great. And we got is her name Jennifer Grey? Jennifer Jason Lee, I think it is. If you remember back in the day in the 90s. A single white female. That's where she's from. That's where I most notice her from. She's done a whole lot of other stuff too. But a lot of these stories, they come in and resonate with some of the characters on there. Like this past one with Jennifer Jason Lee, with she refused to have children, and she thought that Allura was on the same path as her. Her husband, Jennifer Jason Lee's husband, ended up resenting her and hating her. Now is trying to divorce her because she would not give him a child, and she's paying for that. So anyways, he ended up dropping the suit because the girlfriend that he got pregnant. So that was the thing that really hurt him the most, and that's why he was really trying to punish her. But anyways, Carrington was on that case too because she really wants to see the end of Allura and the whole practice. Emerald ended up telling her boys, who are very loving and protective of their mother. Of course, they were ready to really pull up. But she said, look, Mama's going to be okay, we're going to find out. We know Mama's not okay. Because someone's been able to take away something from, that man was able to take away something from her. And it's not right for what he did. And then it's still a mystery of what actually happened to her. He ends up sending this text talking about, I really had fun the other night. He sends another photo of her bound and gagged. How things are looking, it looks like that she was a willing participant. But we saw her on the dance floor and she was out of it. But yeah, it's quite an interesting show. And I'm in it for the long haul. I'm giving you a summary of everything and I'll be able to break it down. I just really wanted to get something out there. And if you have Hulu, Disney Plus, go on and subscribe or whatever if you don't, and get into it. Another show that I'm going to be covering later on this week that I just got into on Peacock all her fault. 8 episodes. Get into it. I need to do a whole lot more watching, but get into it. 8 episodes of it. It's about a mom whose child is kidnapped, and everyone around her is playing a game on her. And it can look like she did it and all that stuff, but something else is going on. Y'all gotta get into it. The first few minutes pull me in, and I always give series a 1 to 2 episodes. And if you're not good, then it's a wash for me. So get into it. This is what I got for this episode. I'm still happy about it. I do like a lot of Ryan's stuff. Of course, it's more campy, it's more out there, and all that good stuff, but it's pretty cool. That's all I have, y'all. I appreciate everyone for coming. Like this video, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.